My name is Anthony Campbell with Parsons. I'm the Vice President for Parsons. I'm the project manager for the Bath runway repair project. So the NAV Building is where all the electronics and controls will be held for the airfield itself. So all the lighting, all the power for the runway, and the signs, the taxiway lights, the runway lights that you see lit up on the runway all come from the NAV Building. So that talks to the runway, and then there's also a connection that will go to base operations, and they'll be able to control everything in the NAV Building from there. So there won't actually be anybody here once we're complete, but it just houses really the brains, I guess, if that's what you want to call it, of the airfield. So, like I said, we started this project in January of 2020, and the pandemic hit in March of 2020, and it kind of threw everybody for a loop, but we were able to maintain our material deliveries pretty much on schedule throughout the pandemic, and we had enough people here on island at that time to be able to handle the material receiving. And we did that for about a year and a half to get everything here. And then we started reprogramming the schedule and identifying what we could do and building plans if the pandemic continued, if it stopped tomorrow. And we had all these plans on how to finish the project the most efficient way we could. And we were able to ultimately make a decision and get the runway paving crews out here and get that paving done during the pandemic. Really, the pandemic ended about, I think, 3/4 of the way through the paving, whenever COVID finally made it to the island, which was a bit of a challenge. I think there were days where we lost 50 or 75% of our workforce for that month. But once we were on the other side of it, we've been doing pretty well. As part of all of that, we were able to get the electrical infrastructure in on the airfield, so all the duct banks and manholes and signs, kind of the concrete for the signs in place and the lights in place. So once the NAV Building, which we're working on currently, is complete, we'll be able to pull all of the electrical infrastructure to the airfield. We'll be able to set the lights and turn those on and control them from base operations once we're set up. And that's all, you know, Mother Nature, weather permitting. We're looking to complete that and start our turnover at the end of the year. So. Today we have a mix of people. We have Philippine third country nationals. We have local Marshallese workers from eBay. Right now we're getting our rebar tied off. We're going to do a concrete placement tomorrow for 2 more floor slabs at the NAV Building. Then we'll have 1 more hopefully later this week. But it's just a series of, you know, you're getting your elevation built up, then you're getting your rebar in place, and then you place your concrete, and then your floor is finished. So there's a couple of different challenges, right? So part of the challenge is getting the raw materials here. And everything's coming from off island, whether it's from Canada in the case of everything for the runway, came from Canada. For the NAV Building, that concrete is coming from Guam. Plus you're shipping cement or fly ash or other chemicals to go into the mixture that make up the concrete. That's just getting it here. Then once it's here, you got to store it, keep it properly stored to make sure that the materials don't get damaged or contaminated while it's here on island. And then you have the joy of pop-up showers and raining when it's daylight on Kwaj that you have to contend with when you're trying to actually place the concrete. So when we were doing the runway, it was particularly challenging because you couldn't see the storms coming in because all of our paving was at night. So, you know, we were always watching the radar, which, you know, is not 100% accurate, and but it was always it always added an element of excitement, maybe, if that's what you want to call it, to our nighttime concrete placements. It's a little easier during the day, but then you're fighting, you know, the hot sun beating down, and your workers, you know, you're just less productive you can't be productive all day. It's just, you're really hot. So it is, so we kind of monitor the worker health and making sure that we're not really trying to do more than we can get done for their safety. And we try to focus on that and make sure people stay hydrated and take into all those environmental conditions when we're placing during the day. The activities today are we are tying rebar for 2 more floor slabs and getting ready for a concrete placement tomorrow, which will be those 2. Then we'll have 1 more floor to do after that, which was planned to do on Friday. And that floor, you'll see, that is, nobody's working on that today, but we'll have to finish bringing it up to elevation, putting the vapor barrier down, and then tying rebar on that later in the week to get ready for concrete. You'll also see guys cleaning up the rebar that's above the stem wall, kind of getting it prepped and ready. It's been here for, you know, a month or so with the way that it was constructed, waiting on materials. So they're getting it cleaned up, getting any rust taken off, touching up paint, touching up the coating to make sure that when we are ready to form those walls and place the concrete in the walls, that the rebar is, there's no contamination or rust on it. And then we've also got just rebar prep work going on right now today, and just general housekeeping. For me personally, I believe that it's been rewarding to be able to participate in giving back to the Marshallese community. You know, whether it's through back to school activities, going to eBuy, just sharing the experience, and just sharing the family concept. The Marshallese are big into family. You know, we'll have going away parties or whatever. It's really an emotional time whenever they all get together, and it just feels like family. Well, I can tell you that one of the things that we kind of do, and I really don't know where it came from, but it's kind of funny, it's entertaining and a little heartwarming all together, but part of the cultural thing, trying to get people to come to work on time and just kind of take some ownership of coming to work. Our construction superintendent, somewhere along the way, we found out that they like to play ukulele and sing, right? So that was their punishment, if you will. They were late to work, they had to come in and sing a song. and then it turned into, like, if that happened to one, it was like they all joined in together, right? You know, to just kind of support the team. So that was kind of, you know, a funny, heartwarming kind of thing, but just really shows again that all pulling together and being like a family.